So guys, welcome back to the channel. So another failed terrorist attack on Burkina Faso. I love this news because on April 16 there should be a major terrorist attack on Burkina Faso, but because of the intelligent officers and they were following this plot and these schemers, they caught them on April 15. Well, not all of them. Some of them got escaped to Ivory Coast. But don't take my word for it. We're gonna listen to the minister of security in Burkina Faso, and he gave a press briefing. It's in French, but don't worry, I translated it. So we're gonna listen to it, and then we're gonna discuss it after. Take a listen. Boom. A few weeks ago, intelligence services intercepted several communications between an individual and terrorist leaders concerning details of the positions of the defense and internal security forces, volunteers of the defense of the homeland, as well as the military operations. After a thorough technical analysis, the individual was identified as Bahar Abdraman and found to be an officer in the Burkina Faso Army Armed Forces. He is identified as belonging to the Military Justice Battalion. The search for information on him in his group will allow intelligence agents to discover that the officer has been in an irregular absence for several weeks and is the subject of proceedings for desertion. The surveillance of the communications of deserter Lieutenant Barry Abdar will provide additional links that will be of interest to the intelligence services. Notably, with an officer of the armed forces named Kampara Joane, a former non-commissioned officer of the Burkina Faso Army named Zerbo Loka, an officer serving at the Integrated Operations Center of Burkina Faso, Commander Wadrago Frederick, an armed force officer and training in a European country, but a deserter for some time now. And having joined Abdi Bajar by the name of Cobra Constantine, the secretive work of the intelligence services will reveal a major plot being prepared against our country. The ultimate goal of which is to sow total chaos with a view to place the country under tutelage of an international organization capable of regaining control of Internet 20 years. The dependent instigator. Sensitive information was passed to terrorists in order to intensify attack against fighting forces and civilians in an attempt to provoke revolt against the authorities. Also, other strategies have been developed to destabilize the intelligence services in order to lead them to make mass arrests within the defense and internal security forces, and thus hope to create frustrations and a feeling of fear manipulation. Is also carried out through messages, broadcasts to unfairly provoke certain people, and other messages sent to commanders to scare them by indicating that they will be arrested because they are on some sort of blacklist. Religious leaders and local people were asked to convince certain officers to embark on this fatal mission. This was unfortunately the case of Captain Wadrago Rene David, currently on the run. In the same vein, VDP have been contacted to demoralize their friends, and money has been sent to them for this work. All these treacherous schemes were developed with the sole aim of disrupting the army and sowing chaos. Intelligence have been monitoring the maneuver which, according to the terrorist plotters, the plan should result in an assault on the Burkina Faso presidency on Wednesday, April 16, 2025, by a group of soldiers recruited by the nation's enemies. This assault should be carried out at the same time as several large-scale terrorist attacks to occupy the air He expected if they cannot be destroyed on the ground, a few days before the implementation of this diabolical project, VDP and patriotic soldiers presented themselves in several services, notably in intelligence and at the FO asked of the presidency to denounce the costs, to discuss the cost of preparation. These discussions continued until April 15, 2025, and led to the arrest of the mastermind of this maneuver in Ouagadougou, and others fleeing to Ivory Coast. It should be noted that the brains outside the country are all located in Ivory Coast, including one named Baha Adraham. The plot is actively continuing from the operation center in Abibaja, while with the aim of sowing chaos in Burkina Faso. Before June, the intelligence services are continuing their surveillance activities and will keep the national public informed of any developments in the situation. Several other people involved are being monitored and will face the consequences of their actions when the time comes. We urge people to remain calm and vigilant and to report any suspicious activities. As for the valiant fighting forces, we encourage them to continue their mission with determination while remaining vigilant. Homeland or death, we will win. So there you have it. This is not my words, another failed terrorist attack on Burkina Faso. They are doing everything humanly possible. When I say they, I mean the imperialists, the colonized, the multinational groups who want our resources and they want to make sure what Ibrahim Traore have accomplished does not be replicated. So anyway, so we see the minister stated how they caught wind of the plotters and the schemers, follow them, get the evidence they needed before they came in a day before the attack, which should have happened on April 16. But on April 15, they arrested some of the plotters and some of the schemers. The mastermind got away, and he got away into Ivory Coast, as I hear. And this is brilliant because you see that this is what I like. When you wait until you get evidence, we don't just go and announce to the world that we are investigating a terror attack. No, we wait, we gather the necessary information, then we catch the mastermind and the people behind it, then we put it to the public. And not to show you how diligently these guys are working. They are using, I mean the imperialists. They are using, because now they cannot attack Ibrahim Traore directly because of the 19th failed attempt on his life. Now they're trying to destabilize the country. And this is what the West have been doing for decades. So now they are using the religious leaders and the traditional leaders, which mean like traditional leaders meaning the tribal heads. Like in these countries they have tribes and they have kings and they have the leaders of the heads of these tribes. So they're contacting these guys and the religious leaders to pay them enough money to convince the defense forces, the soldiers, to turn on Ibrahim Traore on the country. But if you notice with these plots, it's never the foot soldiers, it's always someone in high position, someone who is for some reason have the information they need, and they pay them absorbently amount of money, like a ridiculous amount of money, to have them to turn on their own people because the regular soldier is too patriotic, so they don't approach them. And they do, but they always get figures. What happened is some of these soldiers who they approach is the one who blew the whistle and can and make sure they tell the necessary people who need to be told about this attempt, these plotters, these schemers, and then they make sure they watch them. Cause you see, they reach to the point of their even sending messages to the commanders to tell them that they're on some blacklist and they're going to be arrested. This is what when time you don't have trust or patriotism, then you accept. Oh, I'm going to be arrested, so let me grab give them this information they need, get written in, and I can skip the country. But instead of that, no, they contact the necessary intelligence officers, give them information. Then, as they heard, there was a discussion with these people on how much money and where, when, time, and everything, and that's how they get to catch them. They they cannot, and I repeat, they cannot allow Burkina Faso and the AES alliance to continue to push out the work they're doing, because if this happens and then it becomes to sink in, then they realize more and more African countries are gonna start to realize that they don't actually need the West. And Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have shown the world that we don't need all you. You need us, so you have to come to us on a level playing field, not on a 80-20 profit for 80% for of our profits for the Westerners and 20% for the local people, when that can't even scratch the surface of us, our development and our infrastructure work and all that. So this is what they fear. This is why they take out Patrice Lumumba. The He was assassinated in 1960, some 64, 65, somewhere there. And they did not just assassinate him. They literally put him into a bath of acid or what is, and so have his body literally disappear. Only things left of him is a gold tooth. That was the only thing left of him. Then you have Kagame, the Ghana president. They attacked in the 1960s again, assassinated him. President Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso, another trailblazer, assassinated. So every time we get leaders, they do this because they cannot catch Ibrahim Traore. They offer him so much. Now they are trying their old school way, which is telling a brother or a sister, hey, this is what they're doing is not good for you. You just turn against them. But Burkina Faso citizens are loyal and patriotic. 99% of them. You find one and two here and there that whole resentment to the new leader because of what they cannot get to steal or and full their pockets or make their and steal the millions, the billions that they used to. So those people harbor ill intention, but majority of the population, 99% of them, love what AMTR is doing, and this is why they are doing everything humanly possible to make sure they get a Burkina Faso to be just like, for instance, Somalia, who is constantly in civil war, or like the DRC, the Congo, constantly in civil war. Then they can get to manipulate and use and abuse these countries' resources as much as they want and put in your own leaders to look out for your own interests. So anyway, what do you think of this? Another failed attempt, terrorist attempt, and but what is amazing is the consistent um amount of money they are spending to get Burkina Faso to be derailed Burkina Faso's progress or to take even through the amount of money, billions of dollars have been spending on these terrorist groups to make sure they are fully funded and they are fully equipped to take out one of our most beloved human being president ever to grace the earth. If Ibrahim Traore, our first African, he should be the president of Africa, honestly. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comment section. As always, tell a friend, like, comment, share, subscribe. Boom.